Welcome to week 7 of Rebuild Mark. Only 5 weeks to go until Unbound Gravel 200. I am making good progress. Remember that FTP test I mentioned? Well, the verdict is in. Coach Kristen calculates my current FTP at 215 to 220 watts, which on one hand is a little disappointing because the last time I did that, my memory is that it was around 275 or 280. Now, I can't find that data. I've looked. And it is possible that I am erring on the side of glory, but when I remember things, I have a fairly reliable memory. But it is what it is. I feel better and more powerful on a bike than I have in a long, long time. So I'm making progress. We're going to work with that at 215 for now when we build these workouts that I'll be doing. And that's the place we're going to move from. This past week, I was supposed to, on Saturday and Sunday, do a 2-hour ride, kind of a base ride, and then a 4-hour ride that had a bunch of intervals in the first hour, followed by a couple hours of base after that. Well, Saturday morning, there was a bunch of snow on the ground, and so I tried to do that inside, and I think I'm hitting my limit on those easy rides on the trainer. I can still manage with no problem the interval rides on the trainer, but at least by Sunday afternoon, that snow had melted pretty much, and I was able to get out on the very muddy and bumpy roads north of Boulder for that 4-hour ride, and I had a ball. We may not have the big rocks like Kansas has, but after a week of rain and a bunch of melted snow, the washboards around here will rattle your bones loose. So it was really good practice for trying to keep power down and keep your focus and find a comfortable position on the bike when the terrain's really rough, and it was a lot of fun. The training this week I did a base ride already. I've got another interval ride this week, and then Saturday and Sunday, it's a 5-hour and a 3-hour couple of days, which I'm looking forward to. The volume's really starting to build. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Looks a little rainy for Saturday, but you know what? It might rain on June 1st, so I just need to get over it and get out and do the rides. But now the volume's ramping up, really starting to test things out like nutrition and the tires and all that good stuff, and having a good time with that and learning a lot. But this is when I really got to start making the difference. After each of those longer sessions, I always think about, could I do that X number of times? So for instance, this past Sunday, that ended up being 55 miles. Could I do that 3 more times or almost 3 more times to make the 200? I'm not sure I'm quite there yet where I can see all of that, but I definitely could have done it once or twice more. And that's a lot more than I could say a few weeks ago. So keep the volume going. Longer rides coming. 2 weeks from now, it's going to be an 8-hour day, so should be more than 100 miles. That'll be the biggest test I have. So I think I'm on the right track, but we'll see. And one of my favorite questions I've gotten so far came from a cycling journalist to another cycling journalist, Dan Cavallari, the founder of Slow Guy on the Fast Ride, and he asked Dan if I was embarrassed when I realized that those specialized Zee Cages came in left-handed and right-handed versions, which is the question a professional journalist was asked. No, I wasn't embarrassed. First of all, I didn't buy those cages. I didn't research bottle cages and buy those cages. They showed up on the bike. I'd never used them before, but why would I be embarrassed about that? This life in general and this project for sure is about learning and growing, and how silly would it be not to share something like that just because of something like that, not realizing that there was a left-handed and right-handed cage ride. That'd be terrible. And maybe if that was the only silly thing I'd done lately, it would, but it's not. So hopefully that helps somebody else. It helps you realize those bottle cages come left and right-handed. Maybe helps you feel like you can share things, even if it might be potentially embarrassing in some people's eyes, but it's not in mine. And while we're talking about those cages, I will tell you this. As far as bottle cages not ejecting bottles, I don't know that I've ever found a cage that's that good at that. It does not eject bottles, even on that super bumpy ride last week. But it also makes it kind of hard to get the bottles in there. And you got to be okay with that trade-off, because it's not as easy as just dropping a bottle in a lot of cages. And I'll tell you this too. I don't know that I'll keep those bottle cages, because the left-hand, right-hand thing actually forces you to make a choice. You can certainly put them in either side, but it's easier on the side it's meant to be. And like a lot of left-handed people, I'm not 100% left-handed. I've had to grow up in a right-handed world and learn a lot of things. And as I rode, I remember years ago, I would force myself to do things on the bike left-handed and right-handed so that, one hand's not always on the bar. And, what if I need to use the other hand? So as I ride more, I'm remembering those things. And now it is harder because sometimes I do want to grab the bottle right-handed. I think I'll go back to a more standard, one direction down the middle bottle cage rather than the Zee Cage, but not until after Unbound, because I don't want to drop a bottle in that situation, and I can't imagine any way a bottle comes out of those Zee Cages. Well, event day is approaching quickly. Like I said, June 1st, only 5 weeks away. I'm putting the final touches on things, making some final decisions about equipment, and feeling good about things so far. A million things could go wrong. There's lots of variables, but at least this year, I really feel like physically I've got a great chance of having a good day. And remember, this is a group project. So if you've got questions, if there's some way I can support you in the adventures that you're on, please let me know in the comments. And if you don't want to comment, just email me at mark@browntiemedia.com. Happy to try and answer questions, commiserate. Let's go for a ride. I got that 5 hours coming up this weekend. Anybody up for 5 hours around North Boulder County? Let me know.